Passing gas can be deadly.
Whoa. Oh, something's funky.
Passing gas releases a plume of toxic vapors.
Oh, honey, not in the car.
Like ammonia and hydrogen cyanide.
Oh.
And lethal poisons that can linger even when windows are open. Kids shouldn't be exposed to secondhand smoke. Don't pass gas, take it outside.
I'm Sonya.
I'm Ebong.
And I'm Kate.
And today we're dishing with you from Teatro Geldoni, which is located at 1909 K Street Northwest.
And our guest today is Jim Toomey, who is a cartoonist and does the cartoon that we all see every Sunday. Every day.
Every day. It's
every
daily.
day. I just see it in color on Sunday. Sherman's Lagoon.
That's
now,
nice.
As a cartoonist, you know, we're used to seeing your drawing work, but you have Sherman's Lagoon, the musical now.
That's right. Yeah.
This is news to me. What?
Tell us.
Yeah,
Tell us. I mean, I
So
think
you
we all
researched.
Good research.
wanted you to feel at home.
Check this out on iTunes. We've got, I don't know, 10 or 12 songs. We actually did this last year. I say we because there's two other folks involved. The book writer is Winter Mead, and the musician is Ahmed El Gassir. And they're both directors in a very high-end high school in Oakland, California.
Oh, okay.
And they wanted to do a musical. So long story short is it premiered about a year ago. And the music's fantastic. It's really wonderful. And you can catch it on iTunes.
What kind of music, for
Well, it's
example?
very Broadway-ish.
It's gotta be Jaws-esque. I mean, your main character is a shark.
It's actually kind of eclectic, the music. I mean, there's stuff that reminds you of Andrew Lloyd Webber. There's stuff that reminds you of other Broadway things. So it's very Broadway sounding.
So was the music actually created to fit what the theme of the play was?
So,
okay.
So there's a Feeding Frenzy duet sung by Sherman and his significant other Megan, who's the female great white shark.
I love Megan.
Yeah.
There's what's the other one? Everybody Hears Nuts But Me, which is sung by the Turtle Fillmore, who's kind of the straight guy in the comic strip as well. So he's singing Everybody's Nuts But Me. There's one called We Circle Around, which is kind of based on the fact that sharks have to keep swimming to breathe. It's sort of a biological fact. So the songwriter wrote that into the lyrics, we circle around, and I can't sing worth a hoot, otherwise I'd try.
But clearly you've come up with such a concept that it translates off the written page. So when they first approached you and said, a musical, what did you think? Did you think that is what I've always wanted my work to be?
I was really skeptical, because when we first started developing it and they started writing the lyrics, I helped some of the lyrics, but I don't have a musical bone in my body, all right? So they started running the lyrics by me, and it just sounded it looked like bad poetry. It was just like...
Well, isn't that what a musical is?
Exactly, but when you see it written and you don't... Because it's really the melody that brings it to life, Sure. It's amazing how that bad poetry, when you put a melody on it, it just sounds great.
Right.
But just on the written page, I just was really skeptical about the whole thing. But then when I flew out there and I started working with them, with Winter and Ahmed, and he's a brilliant musician. Winter's a good singer. I kind of felt like Ringo Starr, like what am I doing here with these talented people? It's like this is a dream.
Yeah, but you came up with the characters. So are you going to introduce new characters in this musical, or are they the normal ones that we enjoy reading every day?
There's a couple of new characters.
My favorite, I like the turtle. I mean, maybe I'm the straight and narrow, but I like the turtle.
Oh, that says a lot about you.
Okay.
A little intellectual, a little
Definitely.
Yes.
That must
Hard
be
shell.
Exactly, hard shell. Soft inside.
So you probably think, I know you were going to ask him, which character are you? You've got to think that you're the shark. I mean, you've got to be Sherman.
Well, mostly I'm Sherman, but I kind of am all of them. It sounds kind of vain to say that, but so there are different aspects of my personality. So the turtle's my intellectual side, and the shark's my impetuous side, and Megan the shark is my feminine side, and there's Hawthorne the crab, who's really he's greedy, he's irascible, he's just kind of a mean guy. And, exactly. So I've got that part of me. So when I'm writing a comic, I kind of try to write. When I write the dialogue, I try to get inside of their head. So after a while, you are channeling different parts of you. I mean, my wife thinks I'm nuts because I'm like channeling different parts of me. I'm speaking voices
so
and
some
hearing
things
voices.
that Megan says to Sherman are things your wife says
Oh,
to you,
totally.
are they not?
It's totally my marriage in the comic strip. Yeah.
Interesting.
And my family, really.
So
too.
with all the characters you mentioned, and all of them are a little part of you. How did you? What was the beginnings of this? How did you decide to go with sharks and crabs and animals versus people versus trees?
Good question.
Well, I'd always been interested in sharks in particular since I was a little kid. I was just fascinated with it a lot, kind of the way that kids now are fascinated with dinosaurs. It's this destructive kind of giant creature, and so I decided, there aren't any underwater comic strips, and I thought, a cool lead character would be a shark because it already has so much folklore attached to it. Everybody has an idea of what a shark should be. It's sort of like when you go into a Western, there's certain characters. There's the sheriff, there's the bad guy, there's the damsel in distress, and the cook, and all that. And the shark has got to be kind of the head honcho in an underwater comic strip. So I built the cast around the shark, and I wanted to do something different with the shark because sharks are sort of portrayed as evil and this kind of this creature that's motivated to kill.
True.
Which is a lot of fiction about that. It's the reality is that sharks they're endangered, and most sharks are no harm at all to humans. So I wanted to sort of twist that a little bit and make this make Sherman kind of a goofy, misunderstood shark. Kind of like Frankenstein.
Like us all.
Misunderstood monster. Exactly.
Well, how did you get to being a cartoonist? Have you always had the ability to draw, or was it like because I can't draw to save my soul.
Yeah.
So I always feel like either you were born with the ability or not. So did you?
Because your shark really looks like a shark.
Well, it used to. In the early Peanuts, Snoopy really looks like a dog, but they kind of evolved.
Yeah.
And I think some of the most successful comic strips, cartoonists don't really draw that well. Like, with all due respect to Scott Adams, who draws Dilbert, it's not.
Yep.
It's not Rembrandt. It's real simple stuff. And some cartoonists are brilliant, like Bill Watterson with Calvin and Hobbes. He's a very good artist, very good writer.
But a lot of what comes out of their mouths too, or the mouth bubble anyway. Right. And what you put in the mouth bubble is so funny.
Well, the writing part of it, you really have to have a knack for.
And educational.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you try to. Yeah, and you try to be a good storyteller, and just tell good stories and tell good jokes. Hopefully.
How far out do you actually do the storyboard or the work?
Well, theoretically 6 weeks, but I'm more like 3 weeks out
So you know the story arc from the beginning.
Yeah, most of the story arc mostly is just a week long or 10 days long. So I try to resolve the story on a weekly basis, kind of like a sitcom where everything goes back to where it started.
Right.
So that the next story we just pick up again. Occasionally you'll get characters that get killed or die off or move away or whatever, but
killed and die off, or that actually
Not
happened?
because Sherman eats.
Sherman will eat them, or I just get tired of them. Like, just exactly. I mean, I just like, you're fired.
Yeah.
But they're easier to fire than real actors and actresses.
Oh, I guess that's true. Well, Jim, we can never get tired of you, but unfortunately, we've come to the end of our time. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
And as always, thank you for joining us here on this episode of The District Dish.